Yo, what's up, gamers? Alright, today we're going to be covering a topic that's close, near and dear to my heart. It's the fucking tiny position 4. This hero is really fun. I didn't win a lot of MMR with this hero, but it was so fun playing, I think it's worth just discussing him. Because he's such a fun hero, I think everyone needs to just know what it's all about and how these spells work. Alright, first things first, the Q. It stuns people 6 times, it does damage 6 times. So you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 different intervals, 6 different stuns. It's just an AoE, you can use it to farm with, you can use it in team fights to cancel channels, TPs, whatever. You can use it as a nuke, it's just a good ability. Next up is the toss, you can toss anything to anything, any unit to any unit, so whether it be a creep to a creep, or like a creep to a hero, or hero to a hero, it works on both allied and enemies units. It says on the ability tooltip that it appears as BKB, which is slightly misleading because the enemy BKBs, notice there's nothing to toss, but you can toss onto a BKB target, that's what it means. So you can't cancel like jug spin TPs. You can toss heroes to themselves and creeps to themselves. This ability does 33% damage to structures, so that's any sort of building. See, there's 30 damage out of the possible 90 if you toss it near enough. And it also does 30% extra damage if the tossed target is an enemy. So what that means is, if the starting unit that I toss is an enemy, it's going to do a little bit more damage. So see, it did like 66 damage to this one and 90 damage to this one. The unit you toss to is always going to take the lesser amount of damage. But if the starting toss unit is an enemy, he's going to take a little bit more damage. And if you toss an enemy to himself, it's going to count as a it's going to take an extra 30 damage, 30% damage. I mean. Next up, tree grab, boring spell. You use it on a tree. You get 5 hits of tree grab. It increases your range. It gives you a little bit of cleave. It does 150% damage to Is it 150%? I'm just gonna check really quickly. It does bonus building damage like 200%, whatever, splash damage. The only good thing about this is you can throw it anytime you want. You can throw it either at the ground and then you can hit invis heroes with it. But if you throw an enemy, it's gonna home. And what that means is they can't dodge it, you know, like they can just point it with blinks and stuff, but like say you're just gonna throw it at this axe here at the ground, he can actually sidestep it, but if you throw it at him specifically, then even if he runs, it's gonna home in on him. So there's no mana cost or cooldown to the 3 throw, and it's going to be faster than your attack speed. So let's say I'm playing in my lane, I'm just trading hits with someone. When you have 2 hits left, after that final hit, you can just throw and you can skip your attack animation, which is going to be bad because you have 0 agi and 0 agi gain. Next is Grow, also a boring spell. This is a passive. It just gives you 10 armor, 30 damage, 30 base damage, so it's going to work with double damage runes and some stuff like that. Like, but it reduces your attack speed even further, and your attack speed was never good to begin with, so it went from 1.6 to 2.13. The interesting thing about Tiny is that the Q does triple damage during toss, so the toss duration is actually less than the Q duration. So you can see the Q duration is about 2 seconds, the toss is 1 second. You can hit 4 out of 6 ticks of the Q, which means that you can do some maths. It's like 300 divided 6. How much damage does each tick do? 50. Times 4 is 200 damage that can be times 3, 600, plus the 100 that you can't manipulate equals 700. Plus the toss damage itself is 300, plus 30% of 300 is 400, plus the 700 from before. So it's 1100 with 4 levels in each spell, if you do the combo properly. Now, with that being said, some people don't do the combo properly. They do this into this. Now, the problem with this is you can count the amount of ticks at the end there. It was 4 ticks that weren't tripled. Now, the reason for that is because the Q only starts after half a second. So what you really want to be doing is you want to Q, then wait until the half a second is over, and then when you use your toss, every other tick after that is going to do triple damage, so you can do the maximum amount of damage. Some people, they go in too early like this, or the other way around. The only good thing about the toss first is if you're against BKB, it doesn't let them BKB before you avalanche. But usually you want to Q, wait a little bit, and then toss them. Now, the only other combo you really want to be doing is with the tree grab. You can hit them once, throw them, and then hit them again, throw the tree or something like that, basically. But yeah, you want to be practicing how to hit people in the air. Just A-click the floor, and it's going to hit them in the air. So just practice this, hit, and then like that. So that's something you want to get familiar at. If you just try and click them in the air, like literally right-click them in the air, this is really, really hard. Like, you can barely do it. Like, just try and do that. It's really difficult to do, and then you have to move your camera and whatever. Just A-click the floor is way easier. Other combos you can do, you can toss an enemy at an enemy to stun them both. You can toss an enemy at an enemy so they while they're chasing you, so that you can escape. If you're ganking mid or something, like the two heroes are going to be laning like this, for example. Like the enemy mid laner is going to be here. You can toss him at your hero or an ally just to throw him out of position. You can also do the opposite. You can throw an ally who's trying to close the distance on people like this. You can cancel TPs with it when your avalanche is off. You can use it as a basic nuke. You can use it to farm creeps with if you want to contest a range creep like that. So yeah, this spell is really useful. I'm just trying to think if there's anything I missed actually, and I don't think there is. So remember, if you're going to do the QW combo, I'm just going to call it full combo, okay? The QW combo is Q, wait half a second, throw. Now, the other combo I'm going to mention is the Agonyms. The Agonyms is really strong. It gives you a new ability, Tree Volley, for 200 mana. It has a maximum counter duration of 2.4 seconds and throw duration of 0.6. That means you can throw 6 trees. When you stand next to a group of trees, there's a gather duration. You can throw 6 trees at anywhere. It's going to be a big AoE. Now, you can see if there's less than 6 trees, you're only going to throw 3 trees. You can get cancelled out of this with stun silences. But it's going to use your current level of tree grab and your current base damage. And it can apply on hits. So if you have like a crit, that means every single one of these is eligible to crit. Now, the interesting thing about this is that with the Echo Saber, every single one of these is going to slow. So you can see the cooldown isn't going down. I don't know if this is a bug or not. The other thing about Echo Saber is you can do a 3-hit combo with this. So make sure you always have 3 hits with the Saber and 2 hits without. If you have less than that, throw the tree away and grab a new one. Wait 20 seconds. So what you do is you QW, you double hit like this, and then you throw it at the end. So that's the maximum amount of damage you can possibly do with an Echo Saber. Just get used to doing stuff like that. Okay, so position 4 Tiny. How is it different from every other Tiny who's just going to be wanting to do nukes and fucking combos like that? Let me show you. Now, the hero has 0 agi gain, so he has 0 attack speed. He also has 0 armor, and he also has fucking bad attack speed, I already mentioned. Bad move speed, you know, he's melee, his bad attack range. How can you possibly help your position 3? It's actually very simple. Let me just show you. WTF, goal 99999. Now, at the start of the game, on Radiant side, ask your axe. I'm going to create an axe. So, create hero, axe. Ask your position 3 to stand right here. Now, on the first wave of creeps, when they spawn in, as the creep is running here, this range creep is running here, level your toss. You always level toss first unless you want to contest the room with it. And then just try and toss it so that it lands on the cliff. Now, this is going to take a little bit of practice. You actually might need to cut this tree. After you, you have to cut this tree with like a tango or something. But you start the game with Boots Tango, by the way. I forgot to mention. This is what you start the game with, Boots Tango. Now, as the creep is running here, you want to make sure that it's in range, and then you toss it so that it lands on the cliff. Okay, so your axe can now go contest the lane with 3 melee creeps on his side without a range creep. So the lane's going to push in against him, and they're going to miss this 90 XP. If the enemy team come to contest this for whatever reason, you can also cliff them. So they're going to be stuck now on the cliff. Now, after this first initial creep, you also want to be getting 2 more range creeps up here. So you stay here and use up all your mana. You can use 3 tosses at the start of the game. So after you finish these 3 tosses, you have 3 range creeps on the cliff. That's like 400 XP. So your axe is going to get level 2 before them. He can play 1v2. You walk to base at minute 1, and with the passive gold you just got, you buy 2 mangoes, or 1 mango and 1 clarity depending on your money. You TP bot out of vision, and then you sneak around the trees, and then you can run behind the enemy duo off lane, and you can start tossing enemy heroes into your safe lane duo and trying to get kills that way. You can also roam mid and catching out position mids, like you can walk up from this ramp and sometimes down the river, and then you can toss them to make kills like this. And the benefit of this is they're not going to know where you are, because you spent your entire, like your position 4, you can go anywhere. Most position 4s have to stay with their position 3 or they're going to die, but you've already won the lane for him. On the other side, you also need to cut a tree to make this happen. Create hero axe. Hey Rick and Morty. He stands in the corner like this, and then it's going to be the exact same thing. Create hero creep. Now, just toss like this, and he's going to end on the cliff. Now, one trick that you can do is if you don't want to, if you think that it's kind of hard for you to see what's going on while watching this side, you can actually watch here only. So for example, and then you can click on the portrait like this. So for example, let's say I'm focusing on making sure I get the angles right. I click the portrait and it's a lot easier. Now, disclaimer, you can only have, I think it's, you can only have like 3 creeps up here at the same time on Dire, but you can have infinite, I think, on Radiant, and you can't put catapults up here as far as I'm concerned. So after you do your 3 creeps, you just want to roam around the map. Okay, so this is like an easy trick to win your off lane if you're not confident that you can already win it via more conventional means. And it's something that not a lot of people know about, or maybe they do and they just don't want to, or they just don't do it. I'm not sure actually. Now, I believe, I'm trying to think if I have a clip of like a replay of myself playing Tiny, because there's some stuff that you can't really say in words. Hopefully I do, but I might not actually. Let me just check actually. Let's see. Let's have a look for Tinies on either side. Apologies for not doing this in advance. I might not have a Tiny replay, which is unfortunate. Yeah, I don't think I have a single clip of myself playing Tiny, so that's wonderful. But basically, the main things you want to keep in mind about Tiny are, after you use your Q, wait half a second before you use your W. That's the maximum amount of damage possible. A lot of people do it too soon. They're missing ticks of triple damage. Click the floor when you're using your tree grabs to combo people. Make sure you at least have 2 tree grabs when you have no echo save, and 3 if you do. And I guess this is just going to be an introduction video, and the next one I'm going to play one game of Tiny. I'm going to show you itemization, how to gank, how to walk around the map effectively. So see you there. But this is basically the basics. Just familiarize yourself with these things, and see you next time.